And I think, some of the changes that the legislator worked on this year has to do with the gun law, and not allowing someone that's has a domestic violence background, domestic situation in their history, never allowing them to have own a gun again. And so I think that's a real positive there.
What are we seeing with the youth? Are we seeing, is it leveling out for the young people under 18 also? Or there was a pattern in the 90s where the crime rate went down, but the severity of the crimes went up with our youth population.
I think that trend really seems to be continuing, where the youth rate is probably decreased a little bit, but the severity continues to cause a bit of concern there. So,
are you also more involved in schools, not on call? In other words, visiting the classrooms, kind of doing the education part for the students too?
Yeah, we still I see some bad county roads.
I see a discussion on the road use tax fund coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, these gravel roads, I thought I'd turn on this one because I know it gets quite a bit of use, but as you can see, they've dumped a lot of gravel on this. But we are still teaching DARE in at least 2 school districts. Actually, no, it's gone down to 1. So we've decreased from 3 down to 1. But part of it is because the school districts are trying to expand their curriculum, and there's not as much room to squeeze that in there. I think there's some argument on how effective DARE
is and was.
But yeah, and was. And honestly, the thing about it is, if it helps one person, I think it's probably worth it. But do we actually help one person? And so, I think the schools are really having to sit down and see what is best to have law enforcement do. But the other big thing that we've done, at least in Johnson County, and I know that the city of Coralville does it quite a bit, and I think the city of Iowa City does it some, but really getting our guys, our deputies, when they're in a town that has a school in it, such as Lone Tree, and it's during the day of school's in session, we ask the deputies to go ahead and go out of the school and walk through, just so they're seen, check in with the staff, say hi to the kids, and not to instill any type of fear, but just so that they get that common interaction.
Connection.
Yeah, the common connection. They see a face. Exactly.
This is also the Forever Green connection to the interstate if that were ever to be approved.
Yep. Yeah, that overpass could become a access point at some point. That overpass is actually used somewhat for speed and traffic enforcement projects. We'll put people with a LiDAR up on top, a laser LiDAR unit up on top,
and then have units stationed.
Yeah, have chase cars
half mile on each side.
Yep.
So my favorite question: how full are we at the jail?
Oh, good grief! The jail is a huge problem that is facing it's the 800-pound gorilla that's facing Johnson County. That really, it's difficult to. On a multiple fronts, it's difficult because really we need to get all the communities to buy in on the need. But the other part of it is it affects such a small portion of your population that the average person, doesn't really know and understand.
It's not part of their day-to-day life.
With the jail or the courthouse. The courthouse has some very serious needs, and the jail has some serious needs. So, but our population, we're managing about 80 to 90 people outside of Johnson County right now. So last month we spent a little over about $115,000 just for rent in the month
to house our prisoners somewhere else.
Right, and that doesn't include the transportation expense to get them there. Of course, that's another $5,000 to $6,000. So
But who's in there? I know a lot of people say, is this all college students who had a rough Friday or Saturday night, or is it people that are serving a week to 2 week sentences, or
it's not
who's sitting there?
It's not the drunk college kids. It's not even the people charged with drunk driving or small amounts of pot. It's people that are charged with very serious offenses that that are a flight risk and are a danger to society. It's basically aggravated misdemeanors and felonies. The majority of them are felonies that we're having to deal with, and just don't have the room for them. You know, you think about it, Johnson County is probably now officially the 4th most populous county, and we have the 15th largest county jail, and so we just have not kept up with the growth.
How many deputies do you have right now?
62. I manage a staff of a little over 100, and actually it's closer to 130 if you throw in the reserve deputies there. So, all right, back at the Jacoby homestead.
Yeah. How'd you know I live here?
I followed the signs.
Thanks, there, Lonnie. That was a good one.
Yeah.